Disneyland's secret underground passageways, Marvel Universe Easter eggs, and lots and lots and lots of cats. These are the amazing things you never knew were in Disneyland. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and I'm so glad you've been enjoying all of our Disneyland content lately, because we got more. A whole lot more. So today our goal is to blow your mind with new Disneyland discoveries. Or if you're the Disneyland expert in your family, maybe these amazing things will serve as a much neater refresher for you. Either way, sit back, relax, and enjoy the tons of Disneyland secrets that we are about to unveil from the shadows and bring to the surface for all of you. Magic Kingdom's not the only Disney park with secret underground tunnels snaking beneath it. Disneyland also has a utilidor system winding underneath the Tomorrowland area. As the legend goes, Walt Disney wanted a utilidor system built because he was bothered by the sight of a cast member dressed as a cowboy walking through Tomorrowland while on his way to clock in for a Frontierland shift. And that's how the utilidors were born. Now, cast members can navigate through the lands without being seen until they're ready to be seen. But you'll only find the utilidor system in Tomorrowland in Disneyland versus the massive system hiding out underneath a widespread Magic Kingdom in Florida. Okay, wait, we're just one point into the video and you're already wanting to start planning your next Disneyland vacation, but I don't blame you. The West Coast has some awesome parks and we want to make sure you get the most out of your time here. So go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or click on the link in the description for disneyfoodblog.com/Disneyland plans. And we're going to send you our free guide showing you how to plan out 3 perfect days in Disneyland. That also comes with a handy-dandy list of major differences between planning a trip to Disney World versus planning one to Disneyland. Spoiler alert, these parks are way different than you might be led to believe. So what's the deal with this candy cane looking light bulb over at the Coca-Cola refreshment corner? This, my friends, is what we call fixing creatively. As the story goes, Walt Disney was walking through Disneyland one day and noticed 2 white bulbs next to each other, which of course he could not abide. Immediately after, Walt Disney called a painter over and had him paint half the second white bulb red to correct the pattern. There, good as new, even after all this time. It's no secret that the Indiana Jones Adventure line is winding and dark and long and pretty boring, but thanks to this extended queue, you've got a few little Easter eggs to keep an eye out for along the way. For instance, once you're inside the temple and have made it through the cave, look out for the part of the line that resembles a bridge. Then turn to your left and find a rather funny looking bamboo post. If you pull on it, the ceiling's gonna drop just a bit. Emphasis on the just a bit part, you're in no actual danger here, yet. As the line continues, you'll come to an open room featuring a large obelisk in the middle. As you walk around it, you'll notice a sign that says, "Do not pull rope." This is the one time I'm going to encourage you to break a Disneyland rule, folks. Go ahead and yank it and see what happens next, or hear what happens next. Okay, last Indy queue secret, and then we're moving on. Behind the projector in the Indiana Jones Adventure queue is a sign featuring a picture of Eeyore. Sad little donkey dude, what are you doing in here? The best way to see this glum guy is to go to the end of the projection room for the pre-show, then turn around and look for it. Still can't see it? Ask a cast member. They often carry flashlights and can likely point it out. Similar to Indiana Jones Adventure, the Web Slingers A Spider-Man Adventure ride inside Disney California Adventure has a queue that is bursting at the seams with fun little Easter eggs. Just to name a few, the lamp on Peter Parker's desk in the pre-show room is the iconic Pixar Luxo lamp, and the Lucky Dog's pizza boxes that you see strewn about is an in-universe nod to Lucky the dog, which is the pup Kate Bishop rescued in Hawkeye. There's also a Lucky Dog's Pizza phone number displayed in the queue, and if you dial it, it'll go through the automated voice message, which is going to tell you the line has been disconnected. Womp womp. On board the Jungle Cruise, you're going to witness many things. Animatronic animals, gag-worthy puns, the backside of water, and the banyan tree with a rather bougie background. This banyan tree stands amidst the pool of hippos and was originally purchased from a home in Beverly Hills in early 1955. As the story goes, Harper Goff, Jungle Cruise designer, and Bill Evans, Disneyland's chief landscaper, were looking for a tree to fill the background, specifically in the hippo scene. Goff Ralph and Evans would cruise, pardon the gag-worthy pun, the streets of Beverly Hills on the lookout for trees worthy of the hippos. One day they discovered the perfect tree in the front yard of a Beverly Hills house. Upon inquiry, they learned that the homeowner actually couldn't stand the tree and were happy to have it removed, just as long as something else was planted in its place. And that's how the banyan tree still has its Jungle Cruise home to this day. As the president of the unofficial People Mover fan club in Magic Kingdom, this Disneyland site breaks my heart. Disneyland's People Mover has been closed in Tomorrowland for nearly 30 years. Originally, it opened in 1967 and was basically the same thing as what we can now experience in Magic Kingdom. Just an easygoing tram right over Tomorrowland. No bells, no whistles, just vibes. But back when Michael Eisner was still Disney's CEO, he and fellow Disney Imagineers yearned for the bells and whistles. So they decided to amp up the People Mover and transform it into a higher speed Rocket Rods attraction. But poor little People Mover didn't have the structural integrity for something so high speed, so the update was short-lived, and People Mover/Rocket Rods closed completely in 1995. Since then, fans have been clamoring for its return. It's me. I'm fans. But I mean, come on, the ride's track infrastructure, including the loading station, is still there. In fact, you can see Disneyland's old People Mover track from the other Tomorrowland rides and the monorail. And portions of the track are still being maintained, which feels like quite a tease if you ask me. So Disneyland, just come on, bring it back. A Walt Disney animatronic isn't the only new thing to check out at Disneyland's Opera House. Before you go in to see the show, Walt Disney: A Magical Life, be sure to check out the most recent gallery exhibits before you enter the theater. These displays have been known to update regularly, but no matter when you decide to pay them a visit, expect to see parts of Disneyland history while you browse, ranging from original concept art to rarely seen attraction set pieces. When springtime rolls around, Disney California Adventure gets ready to celebrate their Food and Wine Festival. And while we sure do love trying out all the different festival food booths, you're also going to find us riding a certain flight simulator more often than usual to help break up all our snacking and drinking throughout the day. That's because during the months of March and April, Disney California Adventure usually brings back the original 2001 Soarin' Over California during its Food and Wine Festival. Soarin' Over California was replaced with the version we have now, Soarin' Around the World, in 2016. When Soarin' Over California is playing in the Grizzly Peak area, you'll get the chance to fly over famous California-based landmarks like Yosemite Valley, Lake Tahoe, Monterey Bay, and of course, you get to smell all those oranges. Okay, I'm not here to point fingers or anything, but Epcot sure could learn a thing or two from DCA's Food and Wine Festival. Just saying. Each year during Food and Wine, Disney California Adventure brings together the finest winemakers, brewmasters, and mixologists and loads them all into the Sonoma Terrace so they can lead you through 30 to 40-minute guided tastings, answer questions, and explain the secrets behind the sips. While specific seminars will happen on select days throughout the festival, they're usually pretty inexpensive, and they start at about $25 per person. We'll keep you updated over on the Disney Food Blog website when we learn about 2026 seminar dates, but since Disney California Adventure's version of Food and Wine doesn't happen till the spring, we still got a little bit before anything concrete is going to be announced. The Tenaya Stone Spa inside the Grand Californian is well known for its relaxing massages and revitalizing treatments. But if you're looking to increase your heart rate instead of slow it down, you can sign up for one of the many fitness classes offered here. But not just any fitness classes. Fitness classes that take place inside the parks, bright and early. And what a wide range of class options you've got. You can choose from power walks through the parks, Pixar Pier boot camps, yoga in the Redwood Creek, Cars Land lightning drills, and more. To learn about what classes are available for your trip's time frame as well as price points, head to the Tenaya Stone Spa website and click on the View Activities button to get started. The It's a Small World attractions in Disneyland and Disney World might be similar in most ways, but they have two key differences. The first, the It's a Small World facade in Disneyland is completely outdoors, meaning it's the perfect backdrop for seasonal projection shows, and it looks absolutely stunning at Christmas time. And the second, during a 2008 refurbishment of Disneyland's version, 29 Disney characters were added to the attraction, including Pinocchio, Mulan, Simba, Lilo and Stitch, and more. And now we just got the Coco characters added, so see if you can find them all. Feeling inspired by all the Disney characters and storytelling? You can learn how to be a Disney artist too, thanks to Disney California Adventures Animation Academy. This is located inside the animation building within Hollywoodland, but don't worry, this academy does not require tuition. Instead, this is a 15-minute drawing class where a professional Disney animator will teach you how to sketch a Disney character. Characters switch up for every class, so make sure to swing by the building early on to see the whole list of classes available throughout the day and figure out which character you want to learn to draw. Nope, not Ariel's grotto. This grotto belongs to the OG Disney princess and her 7 dwarf friends. And let me just tell you, this Snow White grotto located on the hillside near Sleeping Beauty Castle in Disneyland has such an interesting backstory. In 1961, 6 years after Disneyland opened, Walt Disney received a gift from an anonymous fan. Already off to a wild start. The gift arrived at the Disney Studios in 8 wooden crates sent from Italy with no return address. Inside those crates were beautifully detailed statues of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, all carved out of pure white Carrara marble. Walt loved them and wanted to make sure they had a prominent place inside the park, and there was just one problem. Snow White was the same size as the dwarfs. Walt Disney's trusted designer, John Hench, was assigned the task of figuring out how to incorporate these marble statues into the park and solve the whole scale problem while he was at it. And thank goodness for forced perspective, which is why the dwarfs are all towards the front of the grotto, and Snow is way back, situated behind her waterfall. So having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is very cool, but can you imagine being so good at your role that Disneyland dedicates a carousel horse in your honor? Because that's exactly what happened for Julie Andrews. Everyone, meet Jingles. This is the lead horse with all the shiny golden bells, who also happened to be Walt Disney's personal favorite steed. Don't tell the others. In 2008, Jingles received a makeover to celebrate Julie Andrews, the practically perfect Mary Poppins herself, and her 44 years of service to the Disney company. Imagineers thought that dedicating the lead carousel horse to the actress would be a fitting tribute, since Mary Poppins had ridden a similar horse in the film. And that's how Jingles got her current blue, pink, and gold color scheme, along with Julie Andrews' initials and other Mary Poppins themed features painted onto her little horsey self. Pirates of the Caribbean has no shortage of audio animatronic pirates, but only the pros know that not all these pirates originated in the California park. Several of the audio animatronics were actually added to the Dark Boat ride during its 1997 rehab. And where did these pirates come from? Well, the former World of Motion attraction at Epcot, which closed in 1996. You'll find most of these Epcot animatronics in the Village scene, though you'd never know they had once had a different East Coast home unless you were told, which is why we're telling you. Now here's where Disneyland has the upper hand over Disney World. Trader Sam's is known in Disneyland and Disney World as one of the hottest resort bars because of its tropical drinks and intimate low-light atmosphere and interactive elements, which are all determined by what drinks you order. Trader Sam's in Disney World, over at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, doesn't take reservations, so everything is first come, first serve, which can be really stressful since that walk-up wait list fills up fast, like at 3 o'clock. However, the Trader Sam's in Disneyland, over in the Disneyland Hotel, does take advanced dining reservations, so you can secure your spot at this enchanted bar ahead of time. ADRs at Trader Sam's work the same as pretty much every other Disneyland restaurant, and you can start making them 60 days before your visit, and I highly recommend it. If you're looking to up your game and score big on Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, just head on over to the Web Slingers gift shop in Avengers Campus. The Web Slingers ride uses gesture recognition technology, so all you and your Avengers team, aka your friends and family, need to do to play along is wave your hands and work together to rack up your group's score. But to enhance this experience, the Web Slingers gift shop sells web power bands, because of course they do, to unlock even more interactive ride options. You can purchase add-ons that'll further switch up your gameplay options, give you access to more powers and abilities inspired by Spider-Man, Iron Man, Ghost Spider, and Rescue during the course of the ride. Yep, Disney's always ready to have you pay a little bit more to score more points. The riverboat in Tom Sawyer Island might now be defunct in Magic Kingdom due to all the construction and land expansion going on over there lately for Piston Peak, but take comfort in knowing that these attractions are still thriving in Disneyland. So if you ever start missing those nostalgic bits of Disney history, they'll still exist in the Disney park that started it all. You might feel so inclined to walk right past Luigi's Rollickin' Roadster so that you can make a beeline for Radiator Springs Racers in Cars Land instead. But just remember, Luigi walked so that rides like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Rise of the Resistance could run. In 2015, Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters Dancing Cars ride became the first ever trackless vehicle tech to open at a Disney park in the US. Luigi is always a trendsetter. Again, long live the king, Tony Shalhoub. Everybody's welcome to visit Pixar Place Hotel, even if you don't plan on staying there. And hey, you'll probably want to take Disneyland up on that offer, especially if you love collecting rare meet and greet opportunities. Because as it turns out, characters like Bing Bong from Inside Out and Joe Gardner from Soul love to hang around Pixar Place. And if you're lucky, you might even be able to catch Joe while he's tickling the ivories near the lobby. If I were the collector from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, I'd probably be pretty proud of my vast collection of otherworldly knickknacks and creatures too. So I get it that he wants to show things off inside the queue of Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Breakout. But there are two creatures in particular who are kept behind glass that I get the biggest kick out of finding here. First off, collection piece number 12485 is actually Cosmo the Space Dog, and hold on a minute. Is that Figment, as in the purple imagination dragon that's usually secluded to the Epcot realm of the East Coast? Yup, it sure is. To find him, look at the frosty boxes suspended above you in that first indoor queue area. He might be tough to find at first, but once you see him, you can't unsee him. Disney Imagineering mistakes are oddly comforting for me because it just goes to show you that a slight design flaw can still be tweaked to make something visually interesting and still as natural as can be. Now, inside the Red Rose Tavern, as you're getting ready to leave, look up at the glowing exit sign. Nope, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. That sign is indeed off-center. You see, when the restaurant was initially built as the Pinocchio-themed Village House restaurant at the time, there was a design flaw that left the exit sign just a little too far to the right, and therefore uneven with the archway exits. So how did Imagineers fix this? Well, Figaro, the cat from Pinocchio, was originally painted to lasso the sign, making it look like he was trying to pull it in the right direction. Then, when Beauty and the Beast theming transformed this counter service restaurant in 2017, Sultan the Footstool replaced Figaro to take on the important role of sign shifter. I love this little addition. It is so great. Okay, don't blink. During the Twilight Bayou scene in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you might be lucky enough to wish upon a shooting star. Just look above the trees and toward the ceiling for a chance of spotting it. And make sure you've already got your wish prepared because it'll be here and gone in a flash. Sleeping Beauty Castle isn't exactly a hidden gem. It's right there at the end of Main Street, USA, serving as the classic park icon for locals and out-of-towners to ooh and ah and take pictures in front of. But Sleeping Beauty Castle is hiding a secret. And no, I'm not just talking about the free walk-through attraction, though I must admit that's a pretty underrated gem in and of itself. Nope, the castle secret I've got for you is actually living underground. In 1995, a time capsule was buried at Sleeping Beauty Castle. You can find the placard for it on the ground in the center court area in front of the castle before the Fantasyland entrance. And the placard reads, "A time capsule containing Disneyland memories, messages, and milestones lies beneath this spot." The Disneyland time capsule is dedicated to the children of the 21st century who may unlock its contents on the 80th anniversary of Disneyland, July 17th, 2035. So we've got fewer than 10 years to go. Did you pack yourself a lunch or a snack for the parks? Good for you. You can enjoy a peaceful picnic pretty much anywhere across Disneyland. But if you're on the hunt for a private designated picnic area that never gets too crowded and has lots of little covered seating areas, just look to your left-hand side before you walk through those Disneyland park gates to find that nice and hidden picnic oasis. Yes, that is a purple and pink cat you see smiling back at you inside that mirror. You have not gone mad with the rest of the Alice in Wonderland crew. If you stare into the mirror, the one up high with a caterpillar as a frame, in Fantasyland's Mad Hatter shop long enough, you may notice something staring back at you. Yep, it's the Cheshire Cat. He'll slowly disappear every once in a while, but don't you worry, he'll be back. He always comes back. And the Cheshire Cat isn't the only one making appearances in Fantasyland. If you watch the window above Snow White's enchanted wish, you may very well see the evil queen looking out every so often as she pulls back the curtain and peers down upon her lowly subjects. This happens like every 20 seconds or so she peers down upon us all quite frequently, which tracks, and she's super creepy, and I absolutely love her. She's my favorite villain. Autotopia may seem like your typical controlled go-kart setting, and for the most part that's exactly what it is. But back in April 2017, Tomorrowland decided to give this classic attraction a little more character, literally. Thanks to this update, new figures of the humanoid robot ASIMO, which stands for Advanced Step in Innovative Mobility, as well as his robo-friend Bird were added into the attraction. Now while you're racing around the track, you'll be able to spot several scenes showing you the misadventures of ASIMO and Bird, as they embark on their very own road trip. Before Nemo and friends took over the submarine voyage in Disneyland, the original voyage that this ride used to be themed around was inspired by the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, of course. The next time you climb aboard, listen closely to the on-ride audio. Even with its new dialogue that better fits the Finding Nemo theme, you'll still hear references to the original submarine voyage. Listen for mentions of the sonar hydrophones and the captain's comment about seeing sea serpents and mermaids, because those are direct shout-outs to our OG submarine friend of the past. Where's our Marvel movie centered around these 3 trees in Avengers Campus, huh? Where is it, Disney? Just outside of the Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, you're gonna find 3 trees. But there's something a little different about these trees. The middle tree towers over the other 2, and that's because on either side of it, there's a pipe leaking a mysterious green goo nearby. What could this mysterious green goo possibly be? You don't have to ponder this mystery for too long, since there's a warning label directly above the pipe that reads "Caution Gamma Radiation." You know, the same kind of gamma radiation that transformed Dr. Bruce Banner into his green alter ego. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't make that middle tree angry. You won't like it when it's angry. What do the Disney characters, Alice and Mr. Toad, have in common? Well, for starters, it seems they both have a knack for getting themselves into some pretty big predicaments. And, oh yeah, their respective Disneyland rides are in the same building. A large portion of the Alice in Wonderland attraction actually takes place on the 2nd floor of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. According to the D23 website, Alice in Wonderland was Disneyland's first 2-level ride-through attraction, but due to spatial constraints, Alice had to be built on top of Mr. Toad. And for the most part, you'd never be able to tell this was a thing, but when you enter the room of the card soldiers on the Alice ride, you are suddenly going to feel a little bit warmer. And what you're feeling isn't some weird alternative card soldiers universe where they actually live on Mercury. What you're feeling is the heat from the hell scene in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, going on down below you. Apparently, Disneyland rides just like to hoard other things, because over at the Matterhorn bobsleds, there's actually a quarter of a basketball court hiding out in there. Walt Disney didn't want any of that indoor mountain space to go to waste. So when he asked the Matterhorn climbers, aka the cast members who were hired to scale the outside of Disneyland's Matterhorn as a show for guests back in the day, you remember, lederhosen and all that, what they would like to fill the space inside with, they voted for an honest-to-goodness basketball court. Personally, I would have voted for a plastic cheese fountain, but I guess a basketball court works too. To this day, cast members can take breaks and have a little fun shooting hoops up in the mountain. But as for the rest of us, the courts are off limits. Gotta go shoot some b-ball outside of the school somewhere else, I guess. It's still bizarre to me that Disneyland recently revamped their Hungry Bear Barbecue quick service to become the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, even though Disneyland made the decision to replace their own Country Bear Jamboree show back in 1999 to make way for the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh dark ride. But whatever, Disneyland still likes to pay tribute to this defunct act in any way they can, including keeping some of the OG characters around. As it turns out, the audio animatronics for Max, Buff, and Melvin are still inside the Winnie the Pooh attraction to this day. If you look behind you to the right as you enter the honey room, you'll see them peering back at you. Speaking of the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, how about another Pooh Bear secret? One that'll reward you for your secret tracking efforts. Every morning, the first guests who arrive at the ride get to sign a special storybook, also known as the Pooh Book, enshrining them as the first riders of the day. Of course, there is a competition to sign the book now, as I've discovered, so there's always a chance you get passed up, even if you get here by rope drop. but ultimately it's a tradition worth striving for at least once. Other Disneyland rides that have similar rope-dropping perks include the Storybook Canal Boats in Fantasyland and Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue over in Disney California Adventure. I just mentioned that one in a previous video, and that'll be around until this one closes. Haunted Mansion is the keeper of many ghostly secrets, but here's one of my all-time favorites. The organ that you'll find inside the Haunted Mansion is the very same one that's seen inside the submarine Nautilus during the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That is amazing, and I love it, and I hope you are just hearing this for the first time, but if you're not, let's just be happy that it exists. Okay, I'm going to tell you about my favorite Disneyland secret of all time again. I know, I've told you about him before. He's that teeny tiny eensy weensy secret, the little man of Disneyland, Patrick Begorra. And he made his first appearance in one of Disney's little golden books, which according to Disney was published in 1955, the same year Disneyland opened, and was kind of Disney's way of trying to convince people it was okay that they were buying up all these orange groves and turning them into like a massive theme park. Anyway, Patrick is a wee leprechaun who these days spends his hours in a teeny tiny house at the base of a tree in Disneyland's Adventureland. To find his home, check out the base of the tree trunk that's near the entrance of Indiana Jones Adventure. It's all tangled within the roots, but you'll see an itty bitty door and a window and a smokestack and a porch light. Home sweet home for Patrick Begorra. Hey, do you smell that? Those are the smelly good smells that Disneyland wants you to smell. Different areas of the park smell like different things, thanks to perfumes being puffed out from Disney's handy dandy Smellitzers that are located within each area. And each area has their own unique scents to play on our senses. Riding Pirates of the Caribbean, you might unknowingly get a whiff of sea salt in the air. Closer to the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, don't be shocked if you suddenly get a craving for a small smackerel of honey. And those cookies you start to crave as you're walking down Main Street, just blame the freshly baked cookie Smelitzer for that. And during the holidays, you might smell peppermint candies setting the mood for Christmas, or pumpkin spices and candy corn scents wafting through the air around Halloween season. Okay, the bad news, the high-end Napa Rose restaurant inside the Grand Californian just pushed back their grand opening from fall to early 2026. The good news, when it does reopen, it's going to have a fresh craftsman decor, both inside the dining room and on the patio, as well as a brand new menu too. Now, I loved Napa Rose before all these remodels started to take place, but I'm excited to compare past experiences with the updated changes. So I'm going to be sure to keep you updated as we learn more about what's to come. Now, this is a different type of Disneyland ride, one that might even wear out your arms and make them feel like spaghetti noodles by the end of it, and one that nobody will ride with me, like ever. Anyway, the Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes in Critter Country will have you board a canoe and paddle your way around the rivers of America. So if you missed arm day at the gym, now is your chance to make up for it. Come on, someone wants to ride this with me, right? The new Walt Disney A Magical Life show is a fun tribute to the life and legacy of the man who started it all. But before we had a Walt animatronic in Disneyland, we had a lamp. Let me back up. Walt Disney made himself an apartment above the Disneyland Fire Department, right? Which you'll see right as you enter the park, so that you could keep an eye on things going on down below, the ultimate people-watching spot. Walt would always turn a light on in front of his window so that cast members knew when he was in the park and in the apartment. And that's why you'll see a light in the window that always stays lit in his memory, except when his family members are in the park as a sign of respect. If stepping into Disneyland's Main Street USA for the first time wasn't enough to make you feel like you've taken a step back in time, perhaps a ride on a vintage-style fire truck will do the trick. Disneyland has a few different modes of Main Street transportation that can take you from the front of the park near City Hall up to the Central Plaza in front of the beautiful Sleeping Beauty castle herself. These include turn-of-the-century vehicles like horse-drawn streetcars, jitney automobiles, omnibuses, or, of course, Bob Gurr's classic fire engine. Main Street rides are only available toward the beginning of the day, so if you want to prioritize one of these easygoing rides, make sure you do so earlier rather than later on. Your kid's first ride on Dumbo, the flying elephant, might be a major milestone that you want to document, but it might be hard to get a picture of them while in motion. Fortunately, Disneyland's got a solution. Behind the attraction is a replica Dumbo gondola that stays completely stationary, meaning you can get a good picture of the kids without all the blurry faces spinning by. What, riding in something called the nose cone doesn't sound appealing to you? maybe I should rephrase it. The front seats of the Disneyland Monorail give you a great view of the tracks ahead, but you'll also be right there next to the cast member pilot as they operate the vehicle, so you'll have front row seats, but behind the scenes action. Front row seating is very limited for the monorail, and your best chance of getting those VIP seats is asking a monorail cast member about them before you board. This doesn't guarantee you a spot in the front or anything, but those who ask about it might have a better chance than those who don't. You might even be able to hang back and wait on the next monorail to arrive if you're willing to wait on those front row seats. It's a lot of fun to ride up there at least once. Usually when I'm talking about something being roasty toasty, I usually mean me all wrapped up in a DFB blanket from dfbstore.com with a hot cup of milky tea in front of my fireplace back home. But when I'm at Disneyland, roasty toasty takes on a whole other meaning. Popcorn carts across both Disneyland Park and DCA have different characters attached to their popcorn turner. These are called roasty toasties. In Disneyland, these include everything from Harold near the Matterhorn bobsleds to the Rocketeer in Tomorrowland, and even seasonal turners like Oogie Boogie near Haunted Mansion Holiday and Santa Claus on Main Street. And over in Disney California Adventure, we've even spied Duke Kaboom working his popcorn magic on Pixar Pier. Yes, he Canada. Your Multipass purchase can do more than just provide you with lightning lanes to help you skip the ride lines, though. When you purchase Multipass, you're also going to be able to download every single PhotoPass download from your day, so don't be shy. Smile for the camera. Lamplight Lounge might be a popular place inside Disney California Adventure, but that does not mean everybody who's anybody knows about all the nooks and crannies of this place. Inside Lamplight, there's actually a secret room called the Office, which sits behind a vault-sealed wall. You don't have to pay extra for it, and you can't make reservations for the Office. You just have to be lucky enough to be invited to dine there. This is a dining space that fits about a dozen people, so if you're traveling with a bigger group, your chances of being invited to sit inside the Office might increase. That being said, it's also worth asking about the Office just to see if, at the very least, you can peek inside this room, even if you don't get the chance to dine in there. The answer won't always be yes, but it's worth a shot. And since I'm apparently on an exclusive dining kick, let's talk about a couple of other super duper exclusive dining opportunities that are hiding out inside Disneyland. Well, maybe opportunities is the wrong word. Originally, Club 33 was designed as a spot where Walt Disney entertained friends and VIPs inside the park. There were even some interestingly placed microphones so he could listen in on conversations. But now, Club 33 serves as Disneyland Park's uber exclusive restaurant that you can, too, potentially dine at if you got $35,000 to put down for a membership and $15,000 every year to keep that membership, and you're willing to endure the forever long membership wait list. Yep, that's all you gotta do. Okay, so if you're rubbing shoulders with the right people, you could be invited by a fellow Club 33 member to dine and drink here, which is probably your best bet, I reckon. In the same vein, Disney California Adventure has its 1901 lounge, which you're going to find near the Carthay Circle restaurant. This lounge is overseen by executive chef Andrew Sutton, just like Club 33. It has a strict dress code and also requires you to be a Club 33 member or be invited by one to get inside. And this is the last hoity-toity fancy pants Disneyland dining opportunity I'm going to tell you about, but guess what? Anyone can get in here if they have enough money. 21 Royal is an exclusive dining experience in New Orleans Square above Pirates of the Caribbean. And you don't need a high-end membership for this one, but you do need about $18,000, which, hey, this space accommodates 12 people, so definitely share the load. That's what I've done when I've eaten there. If you do fork over all that cash for 21 Royal, you'll first meet up over at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa and get a VIP escort over to the restaurant. The weird thing is, they actually park backstage and you have to walk over the train tracks to get where you're going, which is interesting if you're wearing heels. And once you're there, you're going to be served signature cocktails by professional butlers and a salon, enjoy a casual reception on the patio, later get in on the chance to explore the lounge's other rooms, which is actually the apartment that Walt was building for himself and his family when he passed away. And then you'll have an incredible multi-course meal, absolutely delicious, followed by dessert on the balcony where you'll get a private view of the rivers of America and the nighttime spectacular Fantasmic. Now, I've actually dined at 21 Royal a couple of times with friends, so I've got the full exclusive look at this restaurant on our DFB channel right now. If you want to know what every step of this meal is like, you want to know what all the bedrooms look like, and everything else, because there's a lot of little buttons to press and a lot of stuff happens. So go ahead and check it out when you get the chance. And finally, let's talk about the Disneyland cats. Over 200 feral cats live in Disneyland Park. These have been hired by Disney to keep the rodents away, but rarely are you going to see them doing their job during the day. Sometimes you will. It depends on where you are. I've seen several of them over by Grand Californian Resort, so you can catch, a glimpse of these guys once in a while, but usually they stay pretty far away from the humans. So consider yourself lucky if you come across one of these majestic creatures in the wild when you're there. Amazing, right? And Disneyland just keeps bubbling up with more great secrets and hidden gems as time goes on. So be sure to keep checking back here for all your Disneyland planning and exposed theme park secrets. And don't forget to download our free Disneyland guide. It's going to help you plan those 3 perfect days over at disneyfoodblog.com/Disneyland plans. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.